Welcome to another exciting episode of Galatea Kills Everything. We are here in beautiful Fortress of Solitude 3 this evening. Doing something a little different on the show tonight. We've got a raid. This one is from the Wayback Machine. This is old Tier 1 content. And we're going to run through it solo just to have a quick review of how this all works. This is classic content, but don't mistake it for a pushover. It can definitely fuck you up if you don't treat it seriously. That's the most important part to bear in mind. Just keep your eye on the ball. Make sure your build is good. This is a good place to check in with that if you're earlier in the game. Make sure you're on the right path. Now, this is one of the more unique early raids because every other early raid was focused on moving you in a certain direction, getting you to pick up a mechanic, different fight styles, things like that. This is the first time where a raid was a challenge based purely upon the concept of overwhelming force. Everything in here can kill you, and it can kill you quickly if you're not prepared for it. So, let's unpack what that means. The first phase of the raid is pretty simple. You're going to have 3 waves of these little guys. The little guys here are the Kryptonian medic, infantry, and snipers. So, the way I usually deal with them, I focus on the medic first because they do have that red aura that blasts out to an AoE attack. You don't want to get hit by that, so you do want to get rid of them as quickly as you can. The snipers do have heat vision as a non-stop long-range attack. They use that very frequently, so make sure you deal with them as well. And then finally, the infantry, you'll see them do a spin attack here in a moment. It's a closer, tighter AoE attack, so it's not quite as dangerous as the medic's version, but it's still problematic. You still want to get them off the board fast. Plus, the faster you kill these guys, the faster you move on to the second segment of the fight. The second segment of the fight is going to be coming up here in a moment. That's when things start getting a little more involved. Take these guys out, and then you'll have a breather for a second here, and then Non. Non is problematic, but not problematic to the degree where you really need to worry about him. He is a decent up-close fighter when he does choose to attack and does deal damage, but he prefers to use his ability attacks, and he has 2 of those that you're going to have to worry about. One of those is good old Frost Breath, which will freeze you if you stay in it for too long, so make sure you keep moving. And the second one is going to be, of course, Heat Vision, the Kryptonian signature move. Now, what makes this part of the fight tricky is not Non himself, it's the fact that Non has friends. The things in the background that you see there, those giant crystalline golems, those are Sunstone sentries, and although they do have up-close attacks, they do have a melee range attack, if you don't get close to them, they don't use it. They'll just stand back there and blast you until time ends. And when I say stand back and blast you until time ends, I mean that's all they do. It adds up. There's a problem with that. Plus, as time goes on, their numbers gradually increase. You started with 2 of them, now there are 3 on the board. Here in a moment, there's going to be a couple more of them. They will just continually spawn in as the fight goes on. It's not necessarily important to deal with them right off the bat, but eventually you do need to make time for them. I usually like to make time for them right about now. You get Non to take a knee, as you can see. Now we've got 5, 6 of those guys in the background. We've got another Kryptonian sniper. And Ursa's joined the battlefield as well, which is going to be its own problem, but not one you have to deal with immediately. She uses that heat vision attack, but her heat vision is just kind of non-stop. She's going to do it to you no matter what, so this is a good opportunity for you to shield up, heal up, and take some of these sentries out of the way. Just kill them. Keep killing them. I know there's a lot of them, but even though they're kind of big and kind of scary looking, they're actually pushovers. They don't take a lot of damage to get rid of. It's mostly just the fact that you have to chase them around and do that whole thing in order to get them off of the battlefield. But as you can see here, I think that was 5 or 6 of them. That only took about a minute or two tops. So get those Lions off the field, get the remainder of the Kryptonians off the field, and then focus on Ursa. Now, Ursa is, again, fairly standard fare for a Kryptonian, especially early game boss fight style Kryptonian. She favors that heat vision, and she will punish you with it non-stop. So I would say if you can get in close, fine. It doesn't really matter if you do, because she's going to do the same thing over and over and over again. Just make sure you have a little bit of mitigation, a shield. This is definitely the place in the fight where you want to keep shields up. And hammer, hammer, hammer. Go back and forth between her and the sentries, that way you don't get overrun. And you should be good to go. Now, it is important to note that when Lex or Superman go down, if you're capable of getting to them in time, you can revive them and they will continue helping you fight. It's also important to note that you shouldn't do so at the cost of your own health or safety in this fight, because if I'm being real honest, you're going to be the star of this battle. There's never been a situation where they take out one of the 3 Kryptonian generals by themselves. And if there is, I'd love to see it. If you got a clip of that, put it in the comments section so we can get them on the channel. Well, we're getting down to the end of Ursa here, and boom, boom, boom. Now, this is a good example of the more things change, the more they stay the same. After you get done beating the crap out of Sunstone sentries here, you get Ursa down on one knee, Zod comes in. Now, Zod basically has the same sort of fight characteristics as both Ursa and Non. He just applies them a little bit differently. Like, he'll stand up there and chase you around the arena with that heavy heat vision attack. It does do a lot of damage, so you don't want to get clipped by it. Make sure you continue moving while you're doing it. And this section of the fight, switch back and forth between Zod and the Sunstone sentries. If you've done a good job of keeping up on them so far, getting them off the battlefield while you've been fighting Ursa and while you've been fighting Non, you really don't have too much to worry about here. Most of the damage that you're going to be doing to Zod, as long as there's a little bit of splash or a little bit of AoE and you can kind of corral him and the Sunstone sentries in the same location, should take care of itself. Otherwise, switch targets, hammer them a little bit, switch back over to him, and just keep punching, keep grinding, keep going. And after that, you should see the magic happen. Now, it is important to note this is old content, which means you're going to be able to do this one as a solo very, very early in your game career. It's also important to note that the build that I'm using right now, this is artifacts, skill points, CR. This is a lot of stuff that goes into this. So if you do try this on your own solo as an early game raid, anticipate that you might fall on your face a time or two first. I know it looks like he's a pushover, but they really are dangerous. You really do need your ducks in a row in order to make this all happen. Well, now they're going to have a conversation, yada, 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 yada. Okay. So what do I get out of all this? Well, there are some feats associated with this raid. The big one, though, is that source marks and reward boxes. This thing is always going to reward you with source marks. This thing will always reward you with reward boxes. So if you're capable of making this raid happen solo, it's a great place to come in and get a lot of stuff out of the way very fast. You can build up a ton of source marks in a short amount of time. This video was sped up a little bit, but the original clip, 13 minutes, 41 seconds, that's all the time it takes. Well, you folks have a good night, stay safe, and thank you from Galatea Kills.